Hey, welcome to Vegas Nation. I'm Bryan Salmond. Now, the Raiders are 2-1 in the preseason with one game to go. Now, their record is less important than specific players having an opportunity to show well for themselves and veteran players becoming comfortable with their new roles, i.e. Donald Penn at right tackle or newbie Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie at cornerback in silver and black. Penn says he's open to playing in the Raiders' final preseason game while Cromartie is just happy to be playing. Raiders beat writer Michael Gehlken had a chance to hear both Penn and DRC speak today. Michael also has more on what's moving and shaking with the silver and black leading up to Thursday's final preseason game. Michael.
Thanks, Brian. I don't know if Jon Gruden is superstitious, but he may want to stop saying, hey, at least this player's practicing a whole bunch, because that tends not to work out well for the Raiders. Mid-August, Jon Gruden was in training camp with the Raiders and talking about how Obi Melifonwu, the team's former second-round draft pick, was getting a lot of work and practice. Wasn't necessarily giddy about how that practices were looking, but hey, at least he was practicing, Gruden said. The very next day, Melifonwu did not practice. He hasn't practiced since. Of course, he was recently placed on injured reserve. Take to Monday. Martavis Bryant was the subject of conversation. Jon Gruden again in a press conference talking about, well, at least Martavis, while he's progressing, most important thing, he's practicing. He's stringing together 5 or 6 consecutive days of practice. Well, here we are Tuesday, Brian. No Martavis Bryant at practice. Neither was Marshawn Lynch, and really we don't know what to make of their absences, given this is a fairly light week for the Raiders veteran starters in particular. This is a Thursday exhibition against the Seattle Seahawks where you're not going to expect to see the Marshawn Lynches, the Martavis Bryants, the Derek Carrs. Those guys are going to be making the trip to Seattle, but won't be on the field. They'll be watching from the sideline. So what this means, we'll have to wait to find out until next week. One key player who did return to action in Tuesday's practice is cornerback Shareece Wright. An unfortunate setback with him in a recent exhibition game, a hamstring injury. He was really pushing to make the Raiders' 53-man roster, but between that hamstring injury and the recent signing of cornerback Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Wright's bid for a roster spot really became much more difficult. From here in Alameda, this is Michael Gehlken. Back to you, Brian, at the Vegas Nation studio.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. Good stuff as always. So extra, hear all about it. A quick note, our Vegas Nation podcast will be available Wednesday, not Thursday, due to the Raiders versus the Seahawks, the final preseason game Thursday in Seattle. So for Michael in Alameda, I'm Bryan Salmond for Vegas Nation. We'll see you next time.